In this video, we are going to be mounting a scope to a rifled shotgun 12 gauge that currently is just iron sights. It's a Mossberg 500 series. So I'm just going to go over, it's a very simple thing to do. Anyone can do this themselves. Basically, the only tools you need, I would suggest some Loctite red, a precision screwdriver set. You need the aluminum base. You could either go Weaver or Picatinny. We went Weaver in this case, so you have to get the right base for your gun. You need a set of rings. The rings have to match the tube size of the scope that you purchased, and that's about it. And obviously you need the gun, and the gun has to be pre-tapped if you want to do it really yourself, with the mounting holes that are plugged with just little screws. So we got this scope for 12 gauge Vortex. It's not an expensive scope. I think it was on sale for, I don't know, $300, 3 to 9 by 40 mil. So it'll be good for 12 gauge slugs. We don't hunt really past, 100 yards. It'd be a long shot with this. And the gun, we're going to be cycling through it Hornady 2 3/4 300 grain SST slugs for rifle barrel. So anyways, I'm just going to show the process of how to install that. First step when dealing with a firearm, obviously make sure it's clear and empty. Prove it's safe. That's the first step. And next we're going to be removing the 4 tiny little screws using a flat screwdriver off the top of the shotgun, and then we're going to be installing the Weaver rail using Loctite on the threads. So stock little screws are removed. Now we just install the Weaver base. I would highly suggest on any high recoil guns to just put a little bit of Loctite red on the threads. Basically, this is the way it's going to be mounted, like this. These guns kick pretty hard, so you don't want anything backing off. Anything that could untrue the scope is never good, especially when hunting. So you want to just make sure that nothing's going to come apart under the violent recoil that these 12 gauges have. So there we go. Base is mounted. All the 4 screws are using a Loctite red permanent thread locker as well. Goes on nice. It's a nice little scope. It's great for this shotgun. It's a low cost kind of application. So when mounting the scope with the rings, do not exceed 18 inch-pounds torque. Not foot-pounds, inch-pounds. So that's the maximum. You don't want to, I guess, dent the tube. So that's the maximum you should be applying. So put your Weaver base rings on, and then just place the scope in lightly. Test it for fit to see where it's going to fit best. Make sure it clears any original iron sights or anything that are there. If not, either you're going to have to remove the iron sight or get higher rings. And then bring the gun to your shoulder and test it for eye relief. So basically where the gun naturally sits in your shoulder. And then you could move the tube back and forth, forward and to the rear, to find where the most natural position for eye relief is. And obviously, once that's done, keep it there. Get your top rings over there, put them on, and then put everything assemble it all basically again with Loctite. And you have to make sure that the orientation of the scope vertical. It's vertical basically. So a lot of people use levels and whatnot, but I found it's easiest. It's very easy to see with your eye through the reticle if it's level or not. So in the case of this gun, when you put the scope on, there actually is interference from the objective lens on these 2 little spiky iron sights. So I'm just going to take this screw out, remove that so that there's proper clearance. All right, there we go. Scope's all mounted up. Came out pretty good. It almost comes in contact with that metal sight in the front. I took a piece off, but it's looking pretty good. with alignment, basically, you want it totally vertical. I find it's easier just to do it by eye. You can see very easily if something's vertical or not through the reticle. So, but yeah, came out great. So we just got to take it to the range now and sight it in. A lot of guys bore sight it, or you get a gun from a gunsmith and it's bore sighted. And I found most of the time it's nowhere close. So you might as well just sight it in yourself right from the get-go at the range. So yeah, came out really, really nice. And again, Loctite red on all of the little hex screws that are holding it together.